What is up everybody, my name is Zen and recently I did a video on iPhone 6s in 2018. So this video is all about Moto X in 2018. So let's find out how this device is in 2018. Let's go. So I have used this device for a little over a year now and I am pretty well aware of the pros and cons, so now you know. So first of all, we are starting with the display. The display is 5.7 inches QHD panel, 1440 by 2560 IPS panel. Now it is giving the pixel density of around 520 pixels per inch, which is really good. But in the settings you cannot turn this thing from QHD to full HD, so it really drains the battery a lot. Now the bezels are pretty minimal on the side, but on the top and bottom are really wider because of that front facing speakers. Now I have to talk about the front facing speakers at the end of the video, so stick around. So the display can get really dim and can get really bright. You can use this thing directly under sunlight unlike the iPhone 6s, and it will work totally fine. So now we are talking about the build of the phone. The sides are made up of metal and the back is made up of rubber. Now I have this skin on it which I won from the giveaway of Sabi Sagib. Now I will peel this and I will show the back rubber into the B-roll. So the back rubber really looks good and it can give you a solid grip in the hands. Now at the back we got this Moto dimple. I really wish Motorola could have embedded the fingerprint scanner right over here, but we don't have it, so that's a disappointment that you don't get a fingerprint scanner in the phone which was launched in 2015. So what is Motorola? Now I have dropped this thing a lot, but nothing serious happened. I got a couple of scratches and a couple of scuffs here and there, but I'm thankful the phone didn't broke out. So now we are talking about the camera, which is my favorite department to talk about of all time. So the camera is 21 megapixel shooter, aperture of 2.0 is there, and the lens is 27mm. Now it can record 4K videos at 30 frames per second. Now I have shot some 4K videos with that phone, but whenever I put that video into the timeline of Premiere Pro, it becomes completely green, so I cannot show you the 4K video. Although I have some slow motion footage which it can record at 720p, so I will show them to you. So the 4K it records at 30 frames per second and 1080p also at 30 frames per second. I don't know about the frame rates at 720p, which is a slow motion, but I will put here if I will find it. So yeah, so the camera can take some really good photos. All of the photos on my Instagram feed, like almost all of the photos, are taken from the Moto X, and the UI is pretty simple, it is pretty minimal, and I like that. In fact, all of my YouTube videos are shot on the Moto X except this one and the previous one, so you can check out. Inside of the phone you get 3 gigs of RAM with Snapdragon 808. Now the processor is a hexa-core processor. 4 of the cores are clocked at 1.4 GHz and 2 of them are clocked at 1.8 GHz. Now doing day-to-day regular tasks on this phone can go really smooth, but if you play some high-intensive games or you record some long duration videos like I do, then this phone can get really hot, especially onto the front screen and at the back where the Moto dimple is located. So the performance is not the problem. The problem is the display. The display is QHD panel, which means 1440 by 2560 with the pixels per inch of 520, as I said earlier. But the problem is you cannot scale down the display from QHD to full HD, which drains the battery a lot. Now the battery itself is 3000 mAh, but because of that display, it cannot last you a day. Wow. It does not mean that this is totally worst battery timing, but I'm trying to say it's not the worst, but it's not the best either. So the on-screen timing I was getting when I was using this phone as my daily driver was around 4 hours, maybe 4.5 hours. So yes. So the speakers, there are 2 front-firing speakers, one at the forehead, second one at the chin of the phone. Now the speakers are really good. I miss them a lot. They are more than loud. That is the reason I found the speaker of the iPhone 6s trash, because it is only one speaker at the bottom of the phone compared to 2 front-firing speakers which get really loud. So thumbs up for the speakers. Now although the button have lost their clickiness from the point when I started using it a year ago, the button were too clicky and too tactile, but now they are kind of embedded into the body of the phone. Alright, so that is it. I hope you find the answer that does Moto X worth in 2010 for you or not. But if I have to give you an advice, then I will 100% say that don't buy this phone, not because of the battery and all that stuff I explained, but because you can add a couple of thousand more and you can get some really good phones, although the used, but the good phone than this. So this was the whole video, and I am running out of the ideas for the video. So if you have got some ideas, then drop down into the comment section below. I will be more than happy to read them and make the videos on them. With that being said, I'm signing out. My name is Zen, and peace.